How are you, family? This is a whole new level of insanity in the crazy world of celebrity drama. Just when we thought we had seen it all. You will be stunned by what I am about to tell, so fasten your seatbelt. Jim Jones. The Jim, indeed, Jones, was caught red-handed? And no, we're not referring to a trivial disagreement or miscommunication. After years of supporting her partner, through thick and thin, and being a complete train wreck, Chrissy Lampkin has had enough. However, it doesn't stop there. What? She simply reveled. It changes everything. A secret reality that no one anticipated was the betrayal controversy. And I promise you won't look at Jim Jones the same after hearing what transpired. Is this the last straw? Or is there a more sinister turn that is just waiting to happen? Keep an eye out. Take out your popcorn, and hit the like button and subscribe. If you're prepared to dive headfirst into this chaos, because a messy situation is about to arise. Come on. Don't assume you've seen everything there is to see in the realm of celebrity relationships, because what I'm about to reveal is completely different. Check for drama. Check for treachery. An amazing disaster that nobody anticipated. You had best believe it. Then, and Jim Jones was at the center of it all. Yes, the same Jim Jones who has spent over 10 years with Chrissy Lampkin. That's the same individual who has shunned commitment entirely. Additionally, that same rapper who has maintained his prominence due to his constant issues in relationships. However, he might have simply lost everything this time. This isn't another arbitrary accusation of infidelity. This has nothing to do with Chrissy waiting for a ring forever. That never came. The internet went crazy when Jim Jones was caught red-handed this time. It began like any other Hollywood scandal, and the internet detective was back at it. There were a few rumors, some blurry pictures, and a lot of conjecture. People initially thought it was simply another wild rumor because, let's face it, Jim Jones has been plagued by accusations of infidelity for years. Through every incident, every questionable moment, and every time he sidestepped the big question of when they would ever be married, Chrissy Lampkin has always been the loyal ride-or-die type. However, things quickly became quite serious, because it wasn't just whispers. This time, receipts were present, and the game was over as soon as the documents began to fall. The scandal erupts. At first glimpse the pictures appeared. They may not appear to be very significant. Jim was observed in a dimly lit lounge, sitting near Jim Jones, comes in close, whispers something in her ear with his hand resting just a bit too carelessly on her knee, and smiling in a way that made it quite clear that whatever was just polite conversation. Then, yes, it got worse because this was not just any woman, this was a supposed friend that Chrissy Lampkin knew. The betrayal is profound. Yes, exactly. Jim Jones was discovered to have cheated. He was discovered having an affair with a member of Chrissy's own social group. And some were angry once that information was shared on Twitter. Supporters who had felt awful about having previously supported Jim and Chrissy's romance. But it gets much worse because then came the leaked chats, photographs, and texts that built a picture of a month-long covert romance. The final nail in the coffin came when a recording phone conversation, and Jim Jones's words on that tape were just terrible. The Globe was outraged by Jim's remarks. Imagine spending more than 10 years with someone, continuing to stand by them, encouraging them, defending them. This Chrissy Lampkin isn't going anywhere, you hear? She is overly dedicated. No more trying. Excuse me. What? Thus, following years of waiting, supporting him, and enduring all the rumors, he describes her like this. The internet went crazy. However, the betrayal people immediately took to social media to express their complete disdain. When Chrissy Lampkin woke up, the internet reacted, and the hashtag quickly became popular. Jim Jones is cancelled #Chrissy Lampkin wakes up #go away, girl. Chrissy Lampkin was being told to leave by others. How much more must you see? Go away from him, sis. You're never going anywhere. He said literally. Disprove him. Chrissy is worthy of better. More than 10 years have passed. She sacrificed her youth away to him. The comments were harsh, and it was actually unclear how Chrissy Lampkin would react. Because Chrissy Lynn isn't the type to keep quiet, let's face it. She is feisty, aggressive, and vocal about her anger. Chrissy's amazing response. There was silence. For a while, awaiting a reload scroll, admirers waited. Chrissy Lampkin sat down in a video that went viral very fast. Looking cold and heartless. Expression. Her remarks were heartbreaking, but her voice was steady and controlled. I had given my everything to a man who clearly didn't deserve it. I put my faith in an unauthentic love. I let me make a mistake. Never again. Drop, bang, boom. Jim Jones' entire world started to fall apart when Chrissy Lampkin finally realized the truth. The question at hand is what Jim would do. Jones. Would he appeal for forgiveness? Will Jim manage to talk his way out of this, as he always does? Or will Chrissy really leave? Because, remember, Jim has done this before. Jones has encountered some difficulties, and if history is any indication, Jim Jones has a talent for erasing controversy. However, this time around it might be the controversy that puts a stop to everything. That's it. At last, Chrissy said something. She said such heartbreaking words. Jim Jones' radio silence and the internet went viral. No posts on Instagram. No tirades on Twitter. No damage control. Additionally, you already know when someone like Jim Jones stays quiet in the midst of such a huge problem, something is happening, because, let's face it, Jim Jones enjoys being the center of attention. But for him, his long-term spouse, this was a nightmare. Recently, the woman who stood by him for nearly 10 years, declared their phony love to the world. Naturally, then, people began to wonder where Jim Jones was. And when we did get a response, it was a clumsy, feeble attempt at an explanation by Jim Jones. Days of complete silence were followed by Jim Jones's eventual return. And oh boy, the way he handled it was vintage. Jim Jones did not manage the damage or offer an apology. Rather, he streamed live on Instagram while relaxing in his car and wearing sunglasses, playing music loudly, as if nothing had occurred. Is it true, Jim Jones, that fans began flooding the comments with inquiries? Did you truly be unfaithful to Chrissy Lampkin? All he did was laugh. He finally responded, and his remark was a complete disaster. You guys think everything on the internet is made up? Tales, sir. Those photos weren't posted online. That voice recording was not created by the internet. Then he struck us with the most egregious excuse ever. Those photos weren't even of me. That, not you. Holds up, let me clarify. The man who appears in the pictures is exactly like you. He has the same tattoos, the same chain, and the same clothes you wore earlier that evening. You're making sense, aren't you? Jim Jones is heavily dragged by the internet. Not surprisingly, no one purchased it. The meme is awful. Even worse were the remarks. Jim Jones is gaslighting us as if we are blind. Dude. Feels as though he is in the Matrix. We didn't see Jim Jones do it, sir. In 2025, it wasn't me who argued. It was awful. And Chrissy Lampkin was done because, as of just now, there was still hope that Jim would take responsibility for his actions, own up to his mistakes, and defend their partnership. However, he chose to play dumb instead. At that point, things started to take a shift that no one anticipated. Chrissy Lampkin was making advances when there was no scandal because Jim Jones was too busy acting. And everyone is surprised by what she does next. When people believed Chrissy Lampkin strikes us with the greatest power after we've seen it all, Chrissy Lampkin took Jim Jones out of the house by going straight to court. She didn't create a long, dramatic Instagram post or go live. Boom that is shared. Insiders claim that Jim Jones wasn't even anticipating it, which is when things start to get really strange. That's right. He was blindsided. The image of Jim Jones being evicted. Jim Jones arrived at the house with the impression that everything was well. He can be singing to himself as if nothing were amiss. But he was turned away the moment he tried to enter. Sources claim that Chrissy Lampkin altered the looks. Additionally, Chrissy's attorney gave Jim Jones a formal warning when he tried to appear confused. You don't live here anymore. And he snapped. According to witnesses, Jim Jones erupted, yelling at the security guard and demanding to be escorted inside while trying to call Chrissy Lampkin. However, Chrissy didn't reply, so she was finished. And best of all, Chrissy Lampkin wasn't even at home. She had left already. Jim tries to change the story, but she had officially put Jim Jones behind her. This is where the humor starts to flow. Following their public expulsion, Jim attempted to change the subject. He gave an even worse explanation when he appeared on a podcast the following day. I was leaving that house before I gave it to Chrissy Lampkin. You were having trouble entering through security, sir. And stopped the cab. But Jim Jones's words were no longer taken seriously. In an interview, Chrissy Lampkin had formally moved on from her last remarks and Jim Jones's demise. Chrissy made a statement when questioned about the problem that made the internet is going berserk. Too much time was spent. That's how I'm done. Just the harsh facts, without drama or tears. And Chrissy Lampkin had people cheering her on. Finally, we love you, go sis. We are witnessing history with this glow-up worthy. At last, she departed. Fans had been waiting years for this moment, and Jim Jones felt completely ashamed. Now what? Where Jim Jones goes from here is the problem. Does he keep embarrassing himself? Does he try to get Chrissy Lynn back? Or does he keep him back? Even farther. Because one thing is clear. Chrissy Lampkin has no intention of turning back. Lampkin Chrissy left, the hairstyle was altered, and the romance was concluded, and Jim Jones was formally declared a lost cause on the internet. The problem with folks like Jim Jones, however, is this: they don't accept loss in silence. As everyone applauded Chrissy's newfound independence, GY-waskemming, and no one anticipated what happened next. Jim Jones's last-ditch effort at atonement. When Jim Jones noticed that Chrissy was being sincere, when he saw others on the internet making fun of him, and when he realized that nobody, not even he, did what any fearful man does when he loses control, and his closest friends stopped helping him. Only a week after being expelled from the house, Jim posted a shocking Instagram picture with a dramatic statement, along with a black and white picture of him holding a head in his hands while sitting on a sofa and specifically searching for Lauren, thumb. Until you're gone, people won't realize how much you mean to them. Even though I offered everything I had, I suppose it wasn't enough. Enough, sir. After deceiving, cheating, and publicly shaming Chrissy Lampkin, this guy is unacceptable? Of course, the internet was not believing it. Supporters criticized Jim's deceptive tactics. Flames, Jim Jones, please. You weren't enough since you were at the club with a whole other people. The comment section said, I sacrificed my heart and soul. Guy, you brought her anxiety and gray hairs. I'm not playing the victim, lady. You cheated on me for 15 years in a row. People were slamming Jim like never before. But Chrissy's response really took the internet by storm because, just when we thought she had said her final words on Jim Jones, she had been quiet for days and she wasn't responding to Jim's Instagram shenanigans. And she wasn't doing any interviews, but one Thursday afternoon, out of the blue, she posted a single tweet that said, "You gave me your heart and soul." Chizzy really hit him with the end of Jim Jones, and the internet went crazy. People were shouting that the Queen had said it. The final nail in the coffin broke. Chrissy Lampkin had finally cut Jim Jones out of her life, and she was suddenly free. She would never be able to go past this. The question is, where does Jim Jones go from here? Because, let's face it, his career was already on life support, his music was pointless. And his reality, the public redemption tour, is the first option. TV days are over. And the only thing that people connect with Jim Jones is his mishandling of the most loyal woman in hip-hop. Jim might go the typical washed-up celebrity route, crying in interviews and apologizing on every podcast, saying he's a new person. He might even appear on The Breakfast Club and express his regret for all he did in an attempt to become the Chrissy Lampkin he was. Jim may find a new woman quickly. Not because he is genuinely ready for love, but because he wants to make Chrissy jealous, which is a common toxic ex. A man has 15 years to get his act together, so he had plenty of time to change if he wanted to. Behavior. Maybe he will start posting cryptic love phrases and appear to be happier than ever. But we already know the reality. Maybe we will catch him inadvertently taking pictures with a young influencer holding hands at new, while Jim is sliding. Chrissy Lampkin is doing well, moving out, getting a new house, new clothes, and a new energy, and for the first time in years, she is not waiting for a guy to improve. Which is why this man is unhappy. The best part is that celebrities are supporting her. Reality TV producers are contacting her, and big businesses want to collaborate with her. It seems like everyone was waiting for her to leave because as soon as she did, opportunities began to present themselves. For the first time in ages, the world is now seeing Chrissy for who she really is, a woman who deserves better last thoughts. This is the Chrissy Lampkin we've been searching for. Jim, well, he'll just have to watch from the sidelines. Thus, we have Jim Jones and Chrissy Lampkin, a 15-year story that ought to have come to an end years ago, but it's better late than never since. If there's one lesson to be learned, loyalty is meaningless. When it's one-sided, Chrissy was humiliated repeatedly by Jim Jones in return for giving him years of her life and sticking by him when no one else did. Jim Jones however, is left wondering what might have been now that she is at last free. What do you think? Will Jim Jones ever be able to move over this disgrace, or is he official littermid forever? And above all, do you think that Team Jim or Team Chrissy Lampkin deserves it? Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next. First of all, I want to say, wow, what a journey, if you made it this far. Let's face it, this story has taken more turns than a season of reality TV. But I would like to know your thoughts on this whole situation. Are you on Chrissy's side, applauding her for finally leaving years of disrespect? Do you believe she should have left much sooner, or did she make the right decision by waiting till she was completely prepared? Do you still have faith that Jim Jones can change his ways? Perhaps you feel that people should be given second chances, or in Jim's case, 10th chances. Share your thoughts in the comments are welcome. I think this drama is far from over. If you appreciate in-depth analysis, check out here's where we dissect all the most outrageous celebrity scandals that have been made public. If you're hoping for Chrissy's makeover, then hit the subscribe button now. I promise you that we're just getting started. Also, don't forget to hit the like button. Let's make sure she sees everything. She deserves love and support. That's all for now, but trust me, I'll be watching the circumstance, since if we were aware of one regarding Jim Jones, this individual isn't capable of avoiding acting drama. Thus, stay tuned, stay filthy, and I'll see you in the following one.